I've got the cookies already going. I started with 1.5 sticks of butter, a cup of brown sugar, and 3/4 of a cup of regular sugar. And I'll add about a teaspoon of vanilla and a couple of eggs that I already cracked in the pitcher. Bryce definitely does not like eggshells in his breakfast cookies. I have learned that through the years. And that looks great. So now I'll measure some dry ingredients. 2 heaping cups of flour. I love this recipe because it passes itself off as breakfast, but it is every bit as delicious as any cookie. The flavors are out of this world. And I'll add 2 teaspoons of baking soda and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And I'll just let the mixer go back to work for a sec. And I'm gonna raise the speed just a bit. Now I don't want to overmix the cookies, so just as soon as I see the flour work in, I'm gonna turn it back off. Now I've got some more good stuff to add. A heaping cup of quick oats. And that's one of the great things about these cookies. It has all the great stuff that regular cookies have, sugar, vanilla, but it's also got a lot of good stuff, oats and grains. Now I've got some shredded coconut. I'm gonna add about 1/2 cup or so. I have to say, I am not a fan of coconut at all, but I love it in these cookies. I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of sunflower seeds, give or take. Really, you don't really have to measure any of these things. And then for just a little crunch, and of course, healthy goodness, a 1/4 cup of flax seeds. I've been putting flax seeds in my chocolate chip cookie recipe lately. My gosh, I love them. They're just little bits of crunch. I'll turn the mixer back on, just a low speed. Breakfast is very important in the Drummond house. Now, I'm usually the one that sort of enforces breakfast because the guys tend to get busy working. They'll let themselves go for hours without something to eat. That's never a good idea with hardworking cowboys. They need a little something in their system before they get going. I have found that that's especially true with Bryce and Todd. If they get to the point where they're hungry, it's not pretty. So something like a breakfast cookie that I can hand them on their way out the door is just perfect. Okay? Turn the mixer back off. This recipe is so simple, it just has a few stages to it. Now I'm gonna add some dried fruit. I've got some dried apricots. These cookies are actually based on my best friend Hyacinth's Everything cookies. She makes them around the holidays and they are so good. I added some more grains and seeds and nuts just to make them a little bit more healthy, a little more hearty for the morning. But gosh, I love these dried apricots in these cookies. They're so good. Okay, those are all cut up into chunks. You can buy dried apricots that are already chopped up, but I really like doing it myself. They have a little bit of a better texture that way. Now I'm gonna get the bowl over here to add the rest of the good stuff. It smells so good. Okay, I've got some chopped pecans. I've also got some dried cherries. And finally, golden raisins. As you can tell, this recipe is pretty versatile. Now, instead of letting the mixer combine all of this, I'm just gonna go in with my spatula and fold it all. That way it won't overmix the dough and it won't break up all the good fruits. You want the cookies to have those big chunks. Bryce is getting so big. I mean, he really is starting to look like the man he'll become someday. And he's really becoming skilled on the ranch. He's pretty much as capable as most of the cowboys when it comes to the ranch work. Okay, I'm gonna use my scoop to get the dough on the pans. All right, the cookies just need to bake at 375 degrees. They're gonna be golden, absolutely delicious, and it's gonna be hard for me to resist eating them. Okay, just a few more steps and my work here is done. So they take 12 minutes to bake, then they come out of the oven and onto a baking rack to cool. And this is where they end up, in a cookie jar, headed for my house, all ready for breakfast.
Hey, Mom.
Morning.
Morning.
You hungry?
Yes, ma'am.
Made you some breakfast cookies.
Thank you.
How's it going?
Hard. Tired.
Tired?
Yeah.
I'll bet. Well, eat your cookies and have a good morning. See you later, son.
All right, see ya.
Thanks for working hard.
No problem.
He is growing up so fast, and he's such a hard worker. I'll make him breakfast cookies anytime he wants. My daughter Paige is heading out early tomorrow to take her college tests. And if anyone needs a good breakfast on the go, it's her. I'm gonna put together a bento box with a bunch of good stuff, and this is definitely going in. It's an individual ham casserole. I've got a bunch in the freezer, and I took this one out last night to thaw. Let me show you the recipe. Breakfast casseroles have always been a hit in the Drummond household, and there's nothing wrong with baking a big one in a casserole dish, but I've found more and more that I like making the small ones, because you can decide when you serve them. I keep them in the freezer in a bag, and depending on how many people I need to serve, I just take them out, nuke them, and breakfast is ready. Sometimes I do a sausage version, but I'm gonna do a ham version this time. Talk about delicious. First thing I've got to do is whisk up all these eggs. I cracked 20 eggs into the bowl. Of course, you can make as many or as few as you want to. Okay, those are all whisked. So I'll add some salt and pepper. This is a lot of eggs. The ham is pretty salty, so I won't go too heavy on the salt, but I definitely want to have plenty of black pepper in there. I like to give eggs a little bit of a chili flavor, so I've got some chili powder. It also adds just a tiny bit of heat. And I'll whisk this in. It is no secret that I'm a huge fan of freezer food. Sometimes I wonder, after all the kids are gone from the house, if I'll still make freezer food for Lad and me. Something tells me I will. I'm just programmed to do it. It is so nice always having options in the freezer. Okay, all of this ham goes in. And then just 3 more things. I've got some really finely diced onion. For a little green, I've got some diced green bell pepper. And you can have some fun with this. You can use yellow bell pepper, red, anything you've got in the produce drawer. And cheese, of course. Big pile of grated sharp cheddar. Okay, now I gotta stir all this together. The little individual casseroles are so versatile. All you have to do is just pull them out of the freezer. You can let them thaw in the fridge overnight if you want, and then the next day just microwave them for about 30 seconds. Okay, now that was easy. And the rest of the recipe is even easier. The first step is to get the mixture into sprayed pans. Bake them at 350 for 15 minutes. When the time's up, they'll be puffy and just barely set. They'll sink a little bit after they come out, but don't worry, that's totally normal. When they're cool, they're flash frozen on a sheet pan for 45 minutes. Then they go into a bag and back into the freezer, and that's it.